Greetings everybody, I am Lobo. Welcome to episode 28 of my Minecraft survival series, and today we are going to be building a farm together because we have not done that in a while. We're going to be working on a pumpkin farm today, guys, so let me ask you, what do you think? And now, the productivity isn't what I was hoping for, but it is compact. No, I'm just playing. But it would have to be compact to fit into this little area we have allocated for it, but you know what? I just don't think that is going to work for me. It's just, it's not. So, no, you cannot be here. You're going to go out this way. And I kind of did a little bit of work here in between episodes. Like last episode, we kind of cleared this area out, and I kind of just did some outlines, trying to figure out ultimately how I want the terrain to look. But yeah, what I'm seeing here is farmland. I'm seeing a lot of farmland. So imagine, if you will, and envision this with me, like a vast rolling field of crops going back as far as the eye can see. That's what I'm seeing here. You know, I'm not seeing trees, and I'm not seeing randomness. I'm seeing farmland. So, you know, originally we had this area slated for our farmland. This was going to be, you know, we were going to have our wheat growing right here, carrots right there, beetroot over there, and potatoes over there once we found some. We don't have any, but, you know, we're going to move all our veggies out this way. This is going to be our new farming area. So, come on, guys, we are going on an adventure. We're going over here to the wilderness, and, well, not really wilderness. Let's see if your friends want to come as well. I believe we have plenty enough here to get us started. Because remember, once upon a time, we had a manual pumpkin farm down there. It's gone now, and I haven't cultivated pumpkins in a while, but we do have plenty enough to get us started for today. Now, as far as how we're going to get down there, right now I'm walking through the area slated to be our residential district. That's going to lead down this way to our docks, which are going to be right about here-ish, maybe, possibly. And then, well, I want the farms to be kind of centrally located. So we're going to dig a tunnel right through this hill here, and if we follow, like, the edge of this circle, like, that should lead us to our farming area. Hopefully, let me double check that. I'm going to go dig a hole, and I'll be back with you guys in just a minute. Yep. It is through this way, so we'll follow the edge of the circle around into our farming area, and we can have a look around real quick. This kind of represents a city wall. It represents it. It's not what the actual city wall is going to look like. This obviously represents a city wall as well. We're going to have city walls kind of dividing each of our districts. Like this right here will be our farming district. And if we go up here, this is the area I've kind of decided the pumpkin patch is going to be in. So we'll just jump up here real quick, and I'll kind of give you just a quick layout, a quick overview of it. So we're going to have pumpkin patches on either side. We'll have a field right there for pumpkins. We'll have one right here, and we'll have a creeper. This is a restricted area. This is a work zone. You should not be here. And in the center right here, we're going to have our storage collection area, which will probably have a farmhouse or, you know, maybe a barn, just something. I don't know. We'll figure that out when we get to it. Obviously, I haven't put as much thought into this as I should have, but that's just kind of the way I roll with, you know, when I come up with ideas. Like the pumpkin farmer here, I came up with the name first. The name came first. Jumping jack-o'-lanterns, you saw that in the title. That's no surprise. But yeah, so the name came first. The concept, I kind of thought about that for a few minutes before I hit record, and I pretty much know how I want to do this. So let me go ahead and clear out some land, and we'll kind of, you know, test this theory out. Right now, it's an unproven concept. I can't imagine it not working, though. It's a very simple concept, so I'm gonna go ahead and dig out some area, and we'll get started. All right, so as I was clearing this area out, you know, I realized that more calculations need to go into it than I initially gave it, but I think this is still going to work. I'm fairly sure. I'm fairly certain. You know, it's you know, I spent some time doing highly mathematical calculations and also hoping and praying, and I think this is going to be enough area for us. I kind of, you know, have a more clear idea right now, at least compared to what I had before. So imagine farmland going back all the way over there, and like what I want for this farmland is for it to actually look like farmland. So I want no visible means, or at least readily apparent means of automation readily visible, if that makes any sense. Like, I don't want it to look like, you know, we have crazy redstone farms. I want it to look like actual farmland. That's the goal, at least. This right here, I think, should accomplish that. Maybe, possibly, probably not, because, you know, I thought of it, but, you know, we'll try it anyway. Let me go ahead and walk you through my thought process. So this right here, this is going to be water and lighting to keep our farmlands well hydrated and whatnot. And I think right about here, this is going to be a piston facing the complete wrong direction, because that's how I roll. No, this needs to be facing upwards like that. And we're going to mirror it on the other side. So right here, we'll have another piston. On top of those pistons, we'll put slime block and slime block. And around those slime blocks, we're going to put grass. And this grass is going to be what our pumpkins are ultimately growing on. So let me get these last couple in. Okay. And then on the corners right here, on the diagonals, we're going to put our pumpkin seeds so they can grow on those 4 pieces of grass that actually surround the piston. So basically, once we extend the piston, that's going to harvest our pumpkins, okay? And it's going to leave the pumpkin seeds on the diagonals untouched so they can grow new pumpkins. This whole system is going to be activated and collected by a set of rails. So we'll have a hopper minecart going along this way. And I had this kind of worked out how I want to do this. As I was digging out, I figured out how I wanted the rails laid out. So let me see if... Yeah. Okay, they'll go around, they'll wrap around the piston like this. And they'll come around here and do the same thing right here. So we'll go ahead and get this weird little shape in. And let me go ahead and say that this is not going to be a lossless farm. Because, anything that lands on top of the piston area will, obviously be lost. But, I don't care. I'm not in this for efficiency. I'm in it for fun. So those will return to our collection area right there. Our send-off return system we'll have in this whole thing. You know what? Let me go ahead and get some more of this thing laid out. So that way I can give you a clearer picture of what I'm thinking here. All right, so I got some progress for you guys. We have all the sticky pistons laid out. We also have all the slime blocks over top of them, and I just went ahead and went through the whole stack of sticky pistons because that was not my original intention, but we have so much room out here, and why not, right? Because we're not hurting for iron at this point, which is awesome. Thank you, Haste 2. But just in case you're planning on building this yourself, between the rails and the sticky pistons, this is not an inexpensive farm. So there are definitely better designs out there, that are much less expensive and also more efficient. I was considering going with a flying machine type design for a little while until, I came up with this thing. But that doesn't fit with my goals to have it mostly hidden. And also I want it to be my own design. I want to put my own little stamp on this. This is my world. I want it, to be my own. So, let me go ahead and I need to get some rails in. The rails are now in, and the minecart has set off on its maiden journey. I just want to make sure everything is going to work before we put any grass over here, because, I feel like I'm kind of skipping on the powered rails, but it doesn't look like it. It looks like it's going just fine. Gold is in much shorter supply than iron at this point, so I may need to take our beacon out to the mesa at some point and just kind of load up on gold for future projects, but I think this is going to work. As far as item collection, I think we need to kind of consider how we're going to collect items that go into the water stream right here. Because, while stuff that lands on the slime block probably won't be collected, we can definitely do something about the stuff that lands in the water. I shortened the track a little bit. I want to do a little experiment. I want to conduct a little experiment. So I put some items on top of the slime blocks. And I just want to see if there's any type of deflection that's going to occur. Once these items are bounced up, they're going to let these items be collected. That third one looks like it did actually get collected. That was the one that was closest to the edge of the slime block. So there was some amount of deflection there, I guess. But for the most part, it doesn't look like anything's going to be picked up. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't underselling this thing, and I definitely wasn't. So for the most part, stuff that lands on the slime block, confirmed, will not be picked up. So let me go ahead and do my standard little disclaimer at this point, because this game has been around for so long and so many people have done so many things with it. Well, I personally have not seen this pumpkin farm design, probably for the reasons that we've already been over, actually. Somebody may have done it in the past, so if that is the case, leave me a link in the comments, and I will give credit where it's due, if it's due, anywhere else in the description. But yeah, I have both sides now done. Everything is now in place, so I think it is about time for us to go ahead and dirty this place up just a little bit. All right, well, not yet. It's not dirty yet. I'm getting ahead of myself. What we need to do first, before we do that, is we need to figure out where our rails are going to lead to, because they can't just end at the end of each pumpkin patch. So what I think we need to do is, this is going to be the edge of the city right here, okay? This is the end of the farming district. And we want some space to walk behind whatever building we have here. So I think right about here-ish, that should be good. That'll give us some space to walk behind it. So we can put the edge of our building right along this line right here. And that's going to let us figure out where we can put our chest and where we can ultimately unload our minecart. So let me kind of figure that out real quick. All right, so I was collecting some wood, and, I forgot about this fallen log back here. How rare are these things? Because, honestly, it's kind of in the way a little bit. So I don't know if I should leave it here. If it's rare, I can probably incorporate it into this area somehow. But if it's not, this is the first one I've seen. But if they just happen, then maybe, I'll just go ahead and get rid of it. I don't know. Let me know. All right, so the rough shape of the Jumping Jack-o'-lantern's pumpkin shack is now in place, and I think this is going to be the rough shape of our building. Back here is going to be our storage system for our pumpkins and eventually melons. Material still to be determined. I don't know if we're going to go with the oak log and birch floor. It doesn't look too bad. I'm kind of leaning towards it, actually. But if we pop up here, we can see our chests. Hello, chests. And if we come up here, we can see our row of hoppers that will feed items into the chests. And I think we're going to do is we're going to have our items carried up here somehow. So we'll probably do an item elevator right there and probably have a water stream that goes over here and separate it down the middle maybe. So like we'll have water going this way, separation right here, and water, you know, feeding from this side into here. So even though we have different size fields, like this field is bigger than this field, we're going to have 8 chests for this side and 8 chests for this side. We'll have an equal amount of storage on each side, because realistically, if I just fill up one side, if you know, I just fill up 8 double chests full of pumpkins and, you know, possibly eventually melons, I think that's realistically going to be more than I will ever need. So jumping ahead and down a little bit, we're now underneath our pumpkin shack where we have our item elevators already set up. In the interest of keeping it simple, I just went with a couple observer clocks here. So once this thing gets a pulse, it's going to send a signal to the drop right here, which is going to send our items upward. It's also going to send a signal to itself, which is going to make it send another signal. Basically, a bunch of signals get sent. So if we throw 12 glass in here, we can see those will get propelled upwards. Right, and same thing on this side. If we turn this thing on, if we throw our glass in here, those will also get sent upwards. So we have, you know, 2 sides of the farm now working. If we come up to the top, we can see how the whole rest of the, not like that, jump! Okay, we can see how the whole rest of the system is going to work now. So we have our glass waiting for us up here, just waiting for a water source to be put in. So let's go ahead and do that. So boom and boom, we have water. That's going to send the glass into the hoppers there. Same thing on the other side. We'll throw a water source block in right here and collect the glass. 10. I could have sworn there was 12. Okay, anyway. We'll have to figure that out. But yeah, that all the glass should now be in the hoppers. So we have 6. I am wait, hold on. 6. Okay, there it is. There's the rest of it. So yeah, 12. Just weird separation there. So same thing on this side, it looks. But yeah, so you kind of see how this whole thing works now. And I'm not too worried about like how it makes it into the chest, just so long as it does eventually make it in there. Let me turn these off. This is driving me mad. We're going to wire these observers up so where they're only running when the carts actually drop off items. Yeah, let me figure out how we're going to do that. Okay, a little bit of dirt on the track. That's going to represent our pumpkins that our minecart is going to collect. It's going to bring it over here to our standard minecart unloader, which is going to send our items up through the elevator into our storage system upstairs. So if I time this right, you should be able to see it in action. So the minecart's going to come down here. It's going to pick up that dirt. It's going to unload it. It's going to go up through the elevator and into our storage system upstairs. And this is much less obnoxious since it's only running when it's actually storing stuff. So that's pretty cool. Same thing for this side. This side is all done too. So our collection system is now pretty much complete. So I think it's about time that we went ahead and dirtied this place up a little bit. You and you, and then you and you. And that's this side all planted. This side is now planted, looking good. I outlined the whole thing in coarse dirt right here. That's going to prevent this grass from spreading outward. I don't want a whole lot of green in this area. I've also put spruce fences up, and that's going to serve a couple purposes. It's going to prevent pumpkins that grow from like right here growing out here, you know, because I want them to grow specifically on these 4 blocks surrounding the piston. Also, I don't want mobs trampling our soil. One thing I didn't address was water. Well, how we're going to collect the stuff that goes, you know, in our water stream. So basically what I'm thinking is that we'll just kind of carve this area out, run the rail underneath it, and then put like top slabs over top, and you know, then put our water on top of it. You know, let me carve some of this out. I'll show you. All right, guys, jumping ahead a little bit, both sides are now planted. I will get into that in a minute. I didn't want to do that without you, but we do have our lighting in here. We have our water in. The lighting is in such a way that it's going to prevent the water from flooding down into our rail area and washing out our rails once the pistons actually lift up. So you can see, like, I just put them on the edge of, you know, the opening. I also threw some fences in here. Let me throw some more in here, just to test out whether or not it's going to collect items that fall into the water. And yes, of course it does. So basically, we just have the rail running underneath a top slab, and we have our water and lighting on top of that. Same thing on that side. And I recorded a couple clips in between the last one you saw and this one. Unfortunately, they got corrupted. I had to restart the program, and, you know, it happens from time to time. Fortunately, I caught it before we went any further. We didn't lose too much time together. But yeah, I mean, there were pumpkins here. They already got harvested. So you missed that, but we have more pumpkins sprouting up as we speak. Yeah, I mean, this side's definitely ready to be harvested. We haven't done an official harvest yet, so we will do that together. But this thing's about to come in and hopefully shoot our fences up into our storage system. Yeah, cool. All right, so I think we're actually ready for our first harvest. I mean, both sides have grown in a little bit, and we have, you know, I did a little bit of preparation beforehand. You know, I emptied out all these chests, so now they are completely empty. I also put slime blocks over the water to keep items from, you know, shooting out and going crazy. But I think let's go ahead and pull the switch, and we'll get this thing going and see what we end up with. Be free, and you be free as well. And let's go ahead and run up here real quick before it harvests all the pumpkins so we can actually see it in action. So we'll jump up here and jump. No, jump. Okay. And now, okay, we get to see the pumpkins get harvested. And I told you guys I came up with a name first, Jumping Jack-o'-lanterns, and now you can see why. It's because I wanted to have Jumping Jack-o'-lanterns, and that's looking oh so bouncy. Let's go over here and we'll see, like, you know, how it's actually doing. Let's get a better view. So we have a bunch of pumpkins laying on the ground. Hopefully, when the car comes back around, they do get picked up. All right, so the majority of them are getting picked up, but there's visible loss. You guys can see that. And, you know, I told you that at the start. They're already growing back. I was considering whether or not I needed a timer. Maybe I do, maybe I don't. Well, I don't know. We'll find out. But as far as efficiency goes, you can see it's not, you know, the most efficient farm, but it is, you know, for me, it's like entertaining for me. I really wanted this, and now I have it, and I'm actually very happy with it, as long as it brings back a decent amount of pumpkins on the return. So let's see what we ultimately end up with on our first harvest. You know what? This is looking promising so far. This is looking very promising to me, actually, despite the loss. They just keep on coming. Look at that. They're still coming in, and the other side's coming in too. All right, awesome. You know what? For my purposes, this works. Like, this definitely suits my purposes because, I mean, you know, realistically speaking, there's only so many things I can do with pumpkins right now. We don't have a farmer that we can trade them with. We can't make any kind of profit. It's mostly going to be lighting. So we got 33 in there, 4 and empty. So 37 total so far. That's 41 on this side, and we have 30 plus 4, 34 empty, plus 37 on this side that wasn't, you know, completely grown in yet, I don't think. So yeah, I mean, that's not too shabby at all for me. You know, that's gonna work. I was considering whether or not I needed a timer for this farm, and, you know, I think I'm gonna let go around the second time, see what ends up coming back, and, you know, we'll decide from there what we want to actually do. So the question, I guess, at this point is, do I want to cut here and, you know, just wait for them to come in and then start the clip again? Or I think if I keep talking, we might just have some coming in right now. So we'll wait for these to go in and load up and just look at them all coming in. We'll wait for them to load up. We'll see what we get on the second run, and then we will decide whether or not we want to add a clock to this, which, you know, I don't know if that's going to be completely necessary. But it might, you know, it might make for a more impressive harvest if we do that, because it'll give the pumpkins more time to grow in between. But if we look in here, we got 7 in there, 61 and 8. Oh man, this thing is pumping them out. So this side is now returned. So we can watch these go in, and we can see like what we end up with from this side. And then from there, you know, we can make a further determination. This is like such a long clip. But yeah, I mean, look, I'm so happy with the return we're getting right now. I mean, look at them. Look, oh no, don't look at them. Close that. Put something in there. Okay. Oh man, I panicked. We got more than a stack in there. We got 11 in there. Oh man, 6. Oh man, Lobo got a little too excited. I think it's time for me to step away and take a breather. You belong in there, and you guys do not belong in here. So yeah, come back. All right. Are you kidding? It's going again. Ooh, so creepy. Let me take this thing off. Who wears a pumpkin on their head? I can't see anything. Okay. All right, that's better. I stepped away for a minute and did some work, and, you know, I kind of just sealed this room off so I could be sure it wasn't going to stick out of the hillside once we did that. I also added an etho hopper clock in here, just you know, keep one side, basically one side's going to run out of time, and that's going to kind of, you know, let the pumpkins grow in a little bit more. It'll make it look, you know, like it's actually, you know, a pumpkin patch, which should be nice, because right now everything's just getting harvested as soon as it pops up. So I think that's going to be much better aesthetically, maybe not for efficiency, but, you know, I really don't care too much about that. I added a toggleable off switch to each side, just to kind of shut the farm off completely once the storage upstairs does fill up, because there's no need for it to be running at that point. You know, we don't need jack-o'-lanterns jumping around. I also tidied up a little bit down here. I mean, it's just a maintenance area, but, you know, I knew I was going to have company, so, you know, I kind of just made it look a little tiny bit nicer. The hopper clock switch, that means this side is active. It was the other side. I also, you know, just so you know, I do have this little maintenance tunnel that's going to run back here. Just in case I end up unloading the chunks and the minecart gets stuck somewhere, I want to be able to retrieve it easily and just, you know, set it back on its way. So yeah, I think the only thing really left to do at this point, you know, mechanically this farm is done. So I don't think I'm going to worry too much about the aesthetics of the actual building at this point. I think what I'm going to do instead is head upstairs. Well, not upstairs, but, I'm going to head up and kind of shape the land a little bit, get prepared for, the actual building. So let's put on some music and get to it. All right, everybody, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that. I feel like we got a decent amount of stuff done. We got the general shape of this, at least this area, pretty much kind of traced out. And, there's going to be changes to come. There'll probably be buildings and stuff, maybe a farmer's market. We'll have some farmhouses back that way. We'll have, our fields. We got to figure that stuff out. But this guy is bouncing around. He's so excited. I'm excited, too. We got clothes on some of these guys. Well, just 2 of them so far. But we'll get them all dressed eventually because we can't have these jack-o'-lanterns jumping around with all their... don't look at that, it's inappropriate. But, I feel like we got a decent amount done today. I did take a detour halfway through that and I had to clear out some trees to bring this further back. And, that took a while. I went all the way to the back over there. And, I may have burned down some trees as well. But, I assure you they deserved it. Those were those gnarled old oak trees, the ones that are kind of impossible to cut down in a timely manner, and I can't stand those things. They deserve what they get. Anyway, I think that is all the time I have for filming this episode. If you liked what you saw, please feel free to hit that little thumbs up button. That would mean a lot. And if you want to see more, please consider subscribing. Actually, let's check out how our pumpkin farm is doing before we actually end this thing. So, oh my jumping jack-o'-lanterns. Look at that. That is amazing. How about this side? Are you kidding me? This is ridiculously awesome. Okay, well, I just want to thank you guys for hanging out with me today. I deeply appreciate it. And until next time, I am Lobo, and I will see you guys later.